out what you're putting in. All your hopes and efforts are all in vain. Who will pick you up when you've lost everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring? Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way. Just a little girl when my mama used to say, ooh, happiness requires work every day. Oh, and if that someone makes you smile and leaves you with a scar, don't let them tell you what you feel or who you are. Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason. And a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I gave it all to you for too There must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be more to the reason why we do it all for love. There must be more for a reason, and a little bit of faith has got to come my way. Has got to come my way. Has got to come my way. Do you ever feel you don't get out what you're putting in? All your hopes and efforts are all in vain. Who will pick you up when you've lost everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring? Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different be conscious. Different things in different ways. There must be more to the reason why we do it all for love. There must be more for a reason, and a little bit of faith has got to come my way. Has got to come my way.
Hi, welcome back. I am at my kitchen table right now because I wanted to sit down while I did this art piece. I painted these so awesome shapes a couple days ago and they dried beautifully. So I embellished them with cactus. Can you see? There we go. Cactus and a little desert plants. There's a couple more that are not painted, not embellished. Ha! That's my cat Huey. He's trying to eat this plant and I've been babysitting it. So you will see me shoo him off. Sorry. That's part of the fun tonight. Here's another one that's embellished. And I thought as I was doing these last night that you would like to see how I'm doing it. So I am going to push this down a little bit right now so you can see my table and probably my cats. That clicking noise, that's Huey and the mini blinds or the vertical blinds. He likes to dive in there, so does Doja. So I started one a little bit ago. I did this one last night, but I need to finish embellishing it and I need to add the rest of the plants. Same thing with this. I just need to finish them. But they're gonna look, hopefully you can see, like that. So to get started, it may be a little intimidating to go ahead and just draw on your beautiful paint pours. Look how awesome that looks. I am so thrilled with how these turned out. I was going for the landscape, the sky and the land, and they all turned out amazing. Very happy. So to get started, if you have never painted on your paint pours before and you're nervous, I recommend you get some paper, get a Sharpie, and practice. And when I first started, I did go on Google and I looked up cactus clip art to get some ideas. Because I do live in the desert, but I am not a realism painter at all or artist. I have the hardest time drawing things to make them look actual real. I love abstract. That's why paint pouring is for me. Abstract's awesome. And the way I practice and the way these are turning out, they look almost cartoonish, but not really. They're a little grungy, and I'm really thrilled with that. So get a paper and practice. Draw it, sketch it, mimic, anything you need to do. You can even get a dry erase board and a dry erase marker. Practice on that and erase it. And the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll be. So after you've practiced, after you feel comfortable, we're going to draw it and paint it and then do the next steps. So I'm going to put this one right here. I'm just going to go ahead and put this right here. I did not use a Sharpie on these because Sharpie tends, when I seal it with the spray, the Sharpie does say permanent, but it does not mix well with spray paint or water. It tends to bleed. So I'm going to get an acrylic paint pen because I did acrylic paint. So now I'm going to use acrylic paint again. Posca markers are my favorite. These are amazing. Amazing. Actually, I'm going to save that one for later. I want to do this one. I'm going to do two at a time because as the paint dries on this one, I can move to this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and sketch out, let's see, where do I want to start it? And you kind of want to look at what you want to do too, because like this one, I did 2 cactuses because I really liked a lot of this background over here. This one, I just did 1 and I did it offset. This one, I did 1, but I thought the sky over here looked really cool. I wasn't happy over there. I'm like, yeah, the cactus is going to cover that. So this one, I think this is interesting, but I like this side more because it has more of the yellow. So I'm going to have the cactus over here. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to sketch it on. And if you're not comfortable sketching with a marker, you can always use a pencil. And it'll probably come about here. Use a pencil and do it lightly, because then you can just erase it. And what you can also do, if on your practice sheets you have a version that you love, if you get some carbon paper, you can put the carbon paper down, put this on top, and then you can trace it. And then the carbon paper will leave the outline. And I'll put all the links in the description to these items, because hopefully they will be helpful to you. And these cacti, or whatever you want to draw, just need to be how you like them. Don't get too worked up on what someone else is doing. I started doing that, but then I'm like, no, I want to look at these and be happy with what I'm looking at. I don't want to try to mimic someone else. So there's an outline. His arm's going that way. I live in Tucson, Arizona. We have tons of saguaros everywhere. And honestly, a lot of them have tons of arms coming off of it. The ones I'm doing, I'm staying simple. Because I find simple is better, especially in my art. So I'm going to get my brush right here. This is just a number 6 Artist Loft. Whoa, where's my camera? It is a square brush and nothing special, and it just needs to fit so I can cover in here and add detail as needed. So I'm going to push this over here. And my cats are being good. I'm very, very proud of my cats right now. Put some paint on my paper plate. And put some paint on my brush. And I'm just going to start filling in. And you don't want a thick, heavy coat because you want these to dry. And because I'm adding color on top, it doesn't need to be 100% opaque. It can be somewhat transparent. This black is just to help the green color pop and just to help cover the sky a little bit. And just go inside the lines as best as you can. If you do make an extraordinary mess up, have your paper towel handy and you can wipe it off as long as it's wet right now. Because the acrylic paint on the bottom, the background has dried. And if you just take a towel and wipe it, you should be good to go. I've done that plenty of times. And there are no real epic fails in this, I will say. You just learn to adapt. And you're like, okay, that happened. How am I going to make this look good? And if anything, if you mess it up, put it in the pile to go paint pour on top of. Okay. See? Just a nice thin coat. I'm going to let that dry. This one that I just did earlier is dry, so I'm going to put my paint in here. grab a drink of water. I'm getting over a sinus infection and bronchitis. So my voice has been up and down for a while. And sometimes I have a little bit of a weird cough, but it's just like a weird shadow of a cough. And it's kind of just a weird little flu going around lately. Okay, so my green, I just picked, this one is Shamrock Green, Craft Smart. And it's just, it's a brighter green. It's a bright, dull green, I want to say. And I thought it was perfect for my cactus. And here, again, you don't need the color to be solid opaque. It can be transparent to show some of that black, because these cactus in the desert are rustic. They're not perfect. They've been weathered. The animals, the birds, have put little holes and burrows in them. So it's not like they are meant to be perfect. And that's another thing I love about the desert. There is beauty in the imperfections. So I'm just going around. I am not even trying to be perfect in filling in. I'll give you a close-up right now, because I'll show you at the end what I'm going to do. Okay, see? It's not straight here. It's not opaque. Look at, and it's going to just pick up naturally. It's going to be awesome. So this one is still a little wet. This one is going to be fine. This one's drying quick because I just did a very thin layer. If for some reason you're in a hurry, get a heat gun or a hair dryer and help blow it, or start a third one, and then you can have a little rotating line. So this one I think is fine. I'm going to add the color shift. This one is called Green Flash. I'm going to put some of this. Whoop. Had a little hard piece there. Put some of this on my plate. Whoops. Might have to buy some more of this. The green flash is so pretty. Can you see how bright it is? I'm going to add that just on top, not trying to be opaque, not trying to be perfect, just filling it in to get another green layer. And since both of these greens are still wet, you can kind of keep brushing to still see some of the black come through, which is really awesome because it just gives more personality to these cactuses. Look at here. Okay. Okay, let me see. If you get too much paint on your brush, wipe it off. I love acrylic paints. It is so easy to work with. They're so flexible. And you just need to trust your process. Trust that it's not going to look perfect to begin with. Trust that the layers you add are going to work themselves out. And just be patient. Just hoping to get some of the black showing right there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then let's see, can you see? You can see the green flash, which is shimmery. You can see an outline of the shamrock green and little peaks of shamrock green. And then we can see the black outline. So I want to let that dry. This one is looking dry. So I'm going to clean my brush off real quick. Just in water, not clean water. It's been, my black paintbrush is still sitting in there. I'm just going to clean the paint off. Just dry it with my towel because I don't want too much water on it. And let's pick up some of that shamrock green paint and start filling this in. And with this, there are a couple areas of the black that are still drying, which is fine. We will deal with those as we come to them. I just love doing this. It is so relaxing. And it was fun creating something. This whole wood piece was just a wood oval until I paint poured. Had fun with that. I'll show that video with this. I loved watching the background in this landscape form. A couple of them I had to redo, add to it, tweak it. Because you know, paint pouring is not a consistent art. And sometimes you're like, wow, why did I really do that? Let's try again. So here we go. I'm going to get the green. See, this one almost looks darker because that black was not 100% dry, and that's okay. It's got a lot of black shadowing. So I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm just going to go right into the green flash and start filling in and adding. I'm not trying to blend it. I'm just trying to add a layer to accent it. Now if I try to blend it, I'm just going to end up with a really dark green color all around. And if you find you're doing that and you have too much paint, take the paint off your brush, put a quick dry brush layer on top, no paint, just to try to pull some of the paint off. Let it dry. Let it dry thoroughly and then go back over with the green. You'll be quite surprised what an effect that gives. It's just important with acrylic paint that you work in layers and try not to do heavy globby layers, because acrylic paint will dry flat. That's the nature. If you leave it chunky and clumpy, it'll take forever to dry, and it'll dry a little raised and level, and that's not always a good thing. Sometimes it is. Look how awesome that looks. Okay, we're going to let that dry. We're going to come back to this one, and because I used thin layers, this is drying pretty quick. So I'm going to put my paintbrush in here. I'm going to grab my Posca marker, make sure it's working, and do you see how irregular these lines are? I'm going to clean them up. And you can go right over the edge, right over the outside. Anything you think is appropriate. I'm just going to go inside the existing black line and see if I can just clean up my crazy paint lines. Okay, there we go. And this, you do need the layers to be dry, or else you're going to get this green paint all over your marker, which is not always a good thing. So here I'm going to Add a tiny detail line. And there. What do you think? I like it. It cleans up those lines so well. Now, I'm going to take my little Posca pen. This one I used was a 5M, which was the bigger nib. This one, look how much thinner it is. This one is the, whoops, let me get the caps right. 1M. So with the 1M, since it's so small, I'm going to go on the outside and make the spikes. And I do this next to allow the green paint a little more time to dry if needed. And this step takes a little bit longer because all you're doing are making these teeny tiny lines and a lot of them. And if you don't want to make a lot of them, you can space them out or group them, bunch them, whatever you feel. It's your cactus. I like a lot all over because I am so used to seeing cactus being spiky. It just means don't touch. And growing up here in the desert, yeah, you just stay away from cactus, especially jumping cactus. And jumping cactus doesn't really jump, but you get close to it and it like clings to you. And that's why they do call it jumping cactus. But the birds, the woodpeckers, you know, they all figured it out. And if you wanted to add detail, like the holes and stuff, you can. If you want to make the blooms on a cactus, you can. My mother-in-law told me to do that, but I'm going to practice the blooms some more. I'm not very comfortable with them yet. So that would be my next thing. Now, I'm going to make, oh, here, let me show you real quick. See the spikies? Lots of spikes. So now, I'm just going to make some grass on the side. I'm going to make some grass, desert grass, I should say, weeds. Just randomly making some lines. And I'm just going up and out. Just wherever. Because this ground has some detail from the paint pour. You know, it has some white detail, which is cool. Almost like a little bit of a snowy day for like the one day of the year it could snow in Tucson. Here, I'm going to do a little bigger cactus. And I'll do it again. Right here. And then here, maybe I'll make a ocotillo. And those are the big, tall, just looks like it has a bunch of little arms, which they're very cool. They're actually silvery, and they're beautiful, especially in the spring when they bloom. They have these green leaves all over them. They're just beautiful. The desert is just so unique. Okay, let me show you. I got my little desert embellishments. And now, I'm going to add a little bit more detail to my cactus. Just to kind of help illustrate that, yeah, it's spiky. And saguaros, they do have the lines embedded in them. So this will give an illusion of that, which I think is so cool and easy to do. Because when you look at it, you're like, wow, that's a saguaro. And random lines, it doesn't have to be anything special, just random. And then, look at there. Oh my goodness. So, this one is still drying, and it's going to take some time. So, I will go ahead and do this one in a little while, and I will post some photos of these finished pieces just to hopefully give you some inspiration. So I hope this has helped you. Please let me know in the comment box what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Get out what you're putting in. All your hopes and efforts are all in vain. Who will pick you up when you've lost everything?